soul, I guess, depending on the type of music, or pumps you up. It has a great access to our emotions. But maybe more importantly, it might give us access to our children. I've learned in my own life that just being able to share music with my kids and listen to their music really creates a closeness. And so we want to talk about the power of using music in our lives to help us with our kids, to help us with our own growth, our own development. Our first guest today is Vanessa Joy. Now, Vanessa is an award-winning vocalist. She had the honor once of singing for the USO at the Wounded Warriors Center in Germany. She's also a performer and has performed for the U.S. Ambassador in Cairo and has starred in her first operetta at age 13. She has a degree in music from Brigham Young University. She's faculty member at the BYU Campus Education Week and has sold 2 albums. Vanessa Joy is joining us. Vanessa, welcome to the program.
Hi, Matt. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. Now, did you happen to hear my music?
Your music? No,
well,
I haven't.
Let's get to that. A lot of people don't know how good music can be. This is a song I put together on GarageBand on my cell phone.
This is great.
Now, what I need, Vanessa, I need somebody to sing.
Okay.
I'm gonna put some words together, and then we're just gonna send them out to you, and we'll put out our first album.
Okay, awesome.
You in?
I'm totally in, Matt. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's hot. Tell me, Vanessa. Now, I mean, you are. You get the power of music. It changed your life. I mean, you get to go from Germany to Egypt. You're in an operetta at age 13. You're getting a degree in it. What has music meant to you, just growing up and growing on?
Oh my gosh, it's meant so much to me. I mean, honestly, it has been a part of my life since. I mean, I came out of the womb crying. So I have been vocalizing since day one, and I absolutely love music. I started playing the violin at age 4, and did all kinds of different orchestras throughout Minneapolis, where I grew up, and just have always had music be a part of my life. So it is very important, and I love it.
Well, and think about what the world would be like without it.
I can't even think of the world without music at all. I can't. It would be so quiet and boring.
And it seems for some reason it's just not supposed to be that way. We need music, and it also seems like, and I was mentioning it earlier, that there's something about music that just gets to our soul, doesn't it? It just opens up the spirit.
Oh, I believe that for sure. When I was just in Germany, in fact, I didn't speak German at all, and a lot of the people where we were at the time, they didn't speak English either, and so it was very difficult to communicate with each other. But when we did the concert with the orchestras and choirs and all of this music, and I'm singing these solos, I know that they knew that I loved God.
Yeah.
And it was because of music.
Isn't
that
powerful?
Because of words. Yes. The feeling in the room of this huge cathedral was the love of God. They felt that from me, and I felt it from them while they were singing and playing music. It's always interesting to me that associated with God are these idea of the angels, and then the angels seem to be in like choirs and music and harps. Isn't it? It's interesting that this heavenly host is always kind of associated with music, and then you wonder, wow, they must have heard the Beatles or not, because it seems like a different kind of music we're talking about, right? Well, they found like a flute from seriously like 39,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
I didn't. Tell me.
Yeah, no, I don't know much about it other than that, but I mean, that tells you that music's been around and on this earth for a very, very long time.
And then you've even found that it's critical to the development of children.
Oh, definitely, yes.
And then why? I mean, I get it. Like, I get when we have our fights at our home, it's rare. But it's usually like Sunday morning when we're trying to get everyone to get ready to go to church or something.
Sure.
But if we put on music, like a good hymn music, like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir kind of music, or just something that's just calmer, it's a different spirit. And it literally, the kids change.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, they do. I mean, how can they not? I mean, it may not happen immediately.
No.
But over a couple of minutes of that being in the home, it's completely a change of feeling, mood, everything changes.
Yeah. And it's like you've sedated them.
It is. It's tranquilizing.
Yeah, without the drugs.
Totally. It's a non-drug.
It has
it's
to.
a non-drug use.
There has to be something about it. Here you were. You starred in your first Gilbert and Sullivan operetta at the age of 13.
Yes.
So you grew up. What did music mean to you growing up? And then all of a sudden at 13, this young age, that's a lot of when, that awkward, awkward young
totally.
stage of the young woman is starting to emerge, and here you are out on stage.
Yes, exactly. Seventh grade, I moved and changed schools twice. It was awful. It was a really, really hard, awful year. I had no friends, and then I had to move again, and I had no friends. And people kept asking me all year, are you new? Are you new? And finally, I got really so tired of answering the question, are you new? I mean, people were asking me, I'm serious, even until the last day of school they asked me.
Are you new?
Are you new?
No.
Anyway, and I just went, I finally saw this sign saying auditions. And I thought, I played the violin, I sang in some things. I hadn't really been a soloist at this point in my life. But I went home and I told my mom, I said, Mom, there's these auditions. Should I try out, And she says, absolutely, go for it. And I'm thinking, yeah, why not go for it? Because nobody knows me, and what do I have to lose?
Right. Yeah, what's the big deal?
So, exactly. So I go and I try out, and I'll never forget the teacher was sitting at the piano, and he kept saying, next, next.
Next.
And he's looking down, and he's just crossing off everybody. And I finally get up there, and it's my turn, and I'm shaking. I'm just worried, and I'm seriously really scared, but I got up there and I just let it out. I just went, woo, and I did my solo, and his eyes, I will never forget, they came up off the paper and his mouth was just dropped.
Wow. That is cool.
Well, yeah, I know, and it changed my life forever. It did.
Well, and what's cool is you can now draw on that
for
the rest of your life.
Noticed.
Yeah.
I was finally
yeah. Hey, they remember me.
No, yeah.
No, that's powerful.
Yes, it changed my life. Music is amazing.
Well, and
really
what else
amazing.
is so powerful is that it's never just the notes either, is it? It's always, you can always bring a part of you out in whatever song you're playing. It's so unique to you. No song is the same.
No song is the same. You're right. I mean, every song has a different message.
Gosh, I love that. I mean, really. Because it just seems like we get all of our kids into music, but really, if no song is the same, then there's always a part of us that we can leave in the song or contribute to the song. Powerful. Vanessa, we're going to take a break. I want to come back and pick your brain a little bit more on the importance of this and how we can kind of maybe find ourselves in our music. Okay. And a little bit more. I want to hear some of your most memorable musical moments. It has to be pretty powerful singing in front of at the Wounded Warrior Center in Germany. That had to be powerful as well.
Yes.
So we'll be back. We're talking with Vanessa Joy, who was discovered at the age of 13 after everyone ignored her for years. We'll be back with Vanessa Joy. You're listening to the Matt Townsend Show, uncovering the power of music and the power it can have in your life. So you're listening to the Matt Townsend Show on Sirius XM 143 BYU Radio.
Why not get your business involved as a sponsor of Cougar Sports on BYU TV, BYU Radio, and BYUTVSports.com. For details, call 801-422-1448 or email corporate support at byu.edu.
Start your day off right with The Morning Show. Host Marcus Smith always gives you something new to think about.
I want to live my life all over again, and it's because I've got the wrong career. Well, there's 12 different careers. I want to be a rock star. That's one thing I want to do. I want to be a clinical psychologist. I think that'd be fantastic too. But boy, you hear about what people actually study, and I'm just mesmerized by it.
Catch The Morning Show weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern here on Sirius XM 143 BYU Radio.
This is Sam McCall for Sirius XM 143 BYU Radio. Debate in the Senate has now begun over the future of the gun control bill. Chances the measure will pass seem high following the announcement of a new compromise yesterday over how to implement increased background checks on gun sales. Delaware could become the next state to legalize same-sex marriage if a new bill announced today passes. The state already allows gay and lesbian couples to enter into civil unions. International Red Cross officials are concerned about the force-feeding of hunger-striking Guantanamo Bay prisoners, calling on President Obama to do more to help solve the legal gridlock inmates are facing. Tornadoes and harsh spring storms ripped across the Midwest today, leaving thousands without power in Missouri. The storm system is now headed for a flood-prone area of North Dakota. A large bus crash in Dallas has left 2 people dead and dozens more injured. The charter bus was carrying a group of mainly seniors when it ran off the road and flipped over a concrete barrier. A Maine man has been arrested for stealing after living as a hermit for 27 years. During his exile, he says he only spoke to one other human and stole from various campsites over 1,000 times. World news: war rhetoric has died down slightly in North Korea as the nation prepares to mark the birthday of the current regime's founder. However, U.S. and South Korean forces are still on high alert, searching for any signs of a missile launch. And a Komodo dragon attacked an 83-year-old Indonesian woman while she was making a broom. She was able to fight the lizard off by kicking it, and now, after 38 stitches to her hand, insists she is doing just fine. That's the news to now on Sirius XM 143 BYU Radio. I'm Sam McCall.
Welcome back, you little music birds, to the Matt Townsend Show. Today we're talking about the power of music. You know, it's one thing to speak to another, it's another to just sing to them and see how that goes. There is so much power in music that goes unnoticed, and we wanted to celebrate it and maybe get into a little bit how we can unleash it, how we uncover the power of music in our lives. We've asked Vanessa Joy to be with us. She's an award-winning vocalist. Really, you got to go check out her website, VanessaJoySings.com. VanessaJoySings.com. She has 2 solo albums. One's called The Voice and Sweet By and By. And we're picking her brain. Vanessa, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much.
Good to have you.
Being here, Matt.
Well,
I'm enjoying this.
It's great to have you because, I want to make sure people know who you are.
Well, good.
Because
Thank
it
you.
sounds like your life was traumatic for years because nobody knew if you were new or not to the world.
Well, yeah. Going back to that, if you really want something to change in your life, which I did.
Yeah.
I wanted something to change in my life. I was really sick and tired of being the new kid and no one knowing me.
Right.
So if you want something to change in your life, you've got to do something different.
Well, but no.
And that's what I did. I went and I did something really scary, really something that made me uncomfortable, something very nerve-wracking.
You tried out for a musical, basically, an operetta.
Exactly, yes.
Now,
And
Vanessa, you know that a lot of kids, instead of doing that, they just color their hair a different color. Or they
I know.
tattoo themselves up, or they put piercings all over, and that's how they create their identity. But you're saying maybe try music.
Yes, maybe try music. It might be an outlet you hadn't even thought about before.
And that's
honestly.
I agree, and it's important that the parents that are out there listening think of that through because it really gave you an identity as somebody that is not forgetful, and you're using your talent. But music also helps us with our children's development in other ways, right? How else have you seen music impact the development of our children?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, you just opened up a big subject because I could talk to you for days about this.
Excellent. Go for it.
No, honestly, you might have to have me back on the show.
We will, for sure. Only if you'll put that song together with me.
Oh, for sure. I hope we're doing that.
Oh, for sure.
You will not be pulling my leg now.
I've only done 4 measures, but if I loop it, I can loop it indefinitely. So
I can throw in a chorus or 2 for you.
Great. I need a chorus. And I don't even know what the chorus would do, but I just know I need one.
I love it. No, honestly, what it does for children is, it's a miracle what it can happen with children. It's their language development. It helps with self-expression. It helps with memory skills. It helps with their concentration, listening.
Oh, yeah.
Listening skills. It teaches them how to listen. And who doesn't want their child to listen to them?
Right, exactly.
Exactly. It helps with fine motor skills, problem solving. It helps with teamwork and goal setting.
Could it get them to mow the lawn?
Can it get... I don't know. You can say, this is the way we mow the lawn. We mow the lawn.
That won't work. I've tried that. It didn't work.
I know, I'm teasing. No, honestly, it helps with little ones. Now, if you get to be a teenager, if you haven't done music at all until teenage years, your kids might be thinking you're a little crazy.
Yeah, now you're bringing this up, Mom or Dad?
Yeah.
But it's powerful because their friends all love the music. In fact, last night I have a son that plays the piano and has some YouTube stuff out there, and my other son's friends came over and they all gathered around this son that plays the piano and just kept throwing out, play this, and he kept playing songs, and you could just see his self-worth just growing.
Oh, for sure.
This identity strengthening.
Yes, it helps with their courage and definitely strengthens their core, their personality, everything. It definitely, I believe that.
Is there a downside? I mean, I don't know if you've heard about this rock and roll music these kids are playing. Is there a downside to music? I mean, is there... Because there's got to be a darker side, too, right?
Well, there most definitely is. I just think that parents, I mean, seriously, if you start with your kids really young, but it's never too late. I want people to know that. It's never too late to start using music in your family. But starting young, I mean, when they're really little, like just infant, they gurgle and they babble and they coo and they call, they're calling out. If a parent or mother, especially with their child at home, just listens and engages with them while they're doing that little babble, that is communication.
Right.
Which is what you want to be doing with your child for the rest of their life. You want to be communicating with them. So watch them, engage with them while they're doing. Don't interrupt them. Let them go, coo.
Let them go
and whatnot. And then you can start to do, like echoing back with them. So you can do a little coo back to them, and then you're kind of going back and forth. So you're learning to listen, and then they listen to you and
mimic and mirror. I love that.
Yes.
That is really communication. It's
totally
communicating
is.
101.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, starting that young. Honestly, like people think, oh, well, what's it going to do when they're so little? It does help starting very, very young. You can even start when you're pregnant, when the baby is in the womb. I mean, I think it's like 21 weeks or something when their ears are fully developed. They can hear everything you're saying.
Let's just start singing to them, right?
Start singing right now. Use your voice. And people seriously have to get over the fact that they may be, tune deaf. They might be...
Yeah.
They might be tone deaf. They are not tone deaf. People are they are so paranoid of, like, seriously ruining their kids' lives by singing to them. There are a lot of people out there that are scared to death to do it.
You can't be afraid.
No. I am serious. This is Vanessa Joy Sings says it's okay. You can sing to your kids and not be in tune.
You know what helps? A shower. So I like to sing in the shower. Because then, A, it tells everyone that Dad's showering, so stay out. But B, it really does, it sounds good.
It totally does. It's got the acoustics in there.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds great.
You're part of a choir in there.
Yeah. It's so
but
powerful.
You know why you feel so good?
Why?
It's because it causes endorphins.
Yes. No, that's true, huh?
Yes. So that breathing that you're doing, just singing out like that, it causes the body to feel good.
And you're oxygenating, and you're moving
you're
blood.
Oxygen to the blood, and you are breathing deeply, so that's causing you to relax. It causes anxieties to go away. It causes your body completely changes, mood completely changes. So there's a lot of effects music can have on you. That's why I say, start singing to your kid today. It's not just about, singing perfect in good pitch.
Right.
It's about taking the time to be one-on-one with your child. You are making and creating a memory with them. And music helps that to be sealed in your mind forever. A memory attached with music goes a whole lot farther than one without it.
Oh, yeah. And you know where you notice that is at a funeral. So at a funeral where you're singing a song that you remember Dad played or Mom, I mean, it really, it's there's songs that were played at my grandfather's funeral when I was, I think, 15, that every single time I hear it, it's Grandpa.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, so that, that's getting to the core.
Yes, it is. Definitely. I mean, you can take your kids on a hike, you can go swimming, you can go for a bike ride, you can fly a kite. These are all great activities, and they're all fun for the family. Everybody's going to remember the hike.
Right.
But are they going to remember what you talked about on the hike?
Probably not.
Not necessarily. They're going to remember the day you went on the hike. But if you sing Kumbaya on the way on your hike, they're going to remember that you sang that song.
But what about everyone else that has to listen to it, Vanessa?
It's about being silly. That's what I'm trying to say.
It kind of is, huh? It's about releasing and letting it go, letting those
totally
nerves.
Is. People have to just get let loose.
Yeah.
Seriously, let your hair down. Okay, enjoy and delight in the music with your family. Your kids, they probably, like teenagers and whatnot. I was going to say they're going to be like, okay, Mom, Dad, you are crazy right now, but it's okay. They'll warm up to it.
And it
Just
honestly, no, but it changes. Like literally, I have this child, and Tuesday night, my wife was actually at the studio with him recording one of his songs.
Oh, cool.
So and this has been a big moment in our lives, because we have one daughter that just was naturally good at piano, just did it, learned it right, did every lesson, followed the line, could go straight in her perfect little linear way. Then I have another child that has a brain a little bit more like mine, where there's nothing linear, it's just kind of like a big cobweb. And it collects, but you don't know it's collecting stuff. Well, so he couldn't go do the typical, I know it's kind of scary, but he couldn't go do the typical sit down and practice and go to lessons and read the notes and do it in that order. His brain didn't work that way. So we kind of just said, look, we're not going to send you to this really expensive teacher if you're not going to do it. And he's like, well, okay, sorry, can't do it that way. So we took away the lessons. But the boy loved music, and he would sit on the piano, and he would actually turn on YouTube, listen to songs, and he has now learned to be able to listen to any song, and within about 5 minutes can put it all together. So he now can play anything by ear. And now what we do, but it's all himself. He just does it himself. None of us. Yeah. We didn't help him with that. But now what we do is, instead of paying for lessons, we just pay for studio time. But it's becoming a family thing where my wife will take him to the studio, and while she was there, two of those brothers were there, and they're all watching their brother make video or make a recording, and then the recordings we put together, and we put together a really good video, and it all goes on YouTube. And it's something that honestly, when he's in his element, he's just a whole different person. And when he can't do it, he's a vegetable. Like seriously, he's a vegetable.
He wants to live in the music studio.
He does, and honestly, but that's you. I mean, that's what's. There are people out there, and I guess that's the point of the show, that is what moves their soul. That's what moves their spirit, and also in general, music in general can pretty much move anyone's spirit, anyone's soul, if we just know it's there.
It totally can. Even back with teenagers and whatnot, you can, instead of lecturing your child, and choose to use music that teaches a message you want to get across to them.
Yeah.
So that is not a lecture anymore. It's music.
And you're sneaking it in, right?
Yeah, you are. And they're going to listen. They're going to hear it.
Yeah.
They're going to hear it. So
I love
it's different. Whereas you start lecturing your kid, they're going to start tuning out.
Totally. And what else I like to do is I like to put subliminal messages into the music. And then I let them listen to mow the lawn, mow the lawn. Or I turn up music, and while the music's up, I kind of talk under my breath and say, mow the lawn, mow the lawn, mow the lawn. And then anyway, they tell me I'm ruining it.
No, I totally agree with you that music does nourish the family's soul.
Yeah.
It does. Music makes a difference in the life of your child.
It completely
does.
Well, and you just brought up a million different ways that it can. It's not just feeling good either. It's mechanics get better, fine motor skills get better, concentration gets better. I mean, it really stretches the soul and the human, right?
It does. I mean, we live in such a fast-paced, achievement-oriented world.
Yeah. I hate it.
Technology, and we need more togetherness. We need more time together. We need fellowship. We need to have more time, laughter. And that's why I say be silly with music. Use it to promote joy.
Yeah. I can't listen to music, though, Vanessa, without shaking my hips.
Well, sure, yeah.
So then I start dancing, and then you think your kids are embarrassed by your singing. Wait till they see you dancing. But really, we do turn music on, and we have, when certain music goes on, we make everyone dance.
Well,
it's dancing music.
That is so good. That is so good because,
it could be, child abuse. That's what my kids call it. That's child abuse, Dad. Nope, it's not. It's Dad shaking his hips.
Have you noticed, though, how many times, seriously, everybody's got almost a TV in their car now?
Oh, yeah.
You go to the doctor, and there's a TV sitting there in the...
You can't even get your face drilled anymore in pain. You have to now be watching a show or playing a video game.
Right, yeah. There's all this in front of us at all times, and I'm not against letting your kid watch a movie by any means.
For sure.
No, but families will thrive if they put music into their life because they'll have this moment with their child. They'll be creating bonds.
And it's everywhere, right? It's the drive. It's everywhere. You can put music in to every part of life.
Oh, definitely. Yes, you can. I mean, what's the first thing you think to pack when you go on a trip? When you're going to be on an airplane, what do you have? What does everybody have on their ears?
Toothpaste. Oh, on our ears?
No,
yeah.
I mean, okay,
headset.
that's the first thing I think to pack.
Is your music. I know. That's usually the last thing I pack, but it's what I enjoy the most on the plane.
Well, yeah, because it makes time go faster.
Yeah.
It makes the ride more pleasant. How many people hate to fly? They're nervous.
You can relax.
Music is helping them to calm down. It helps them to soothe them. It's soothing. So, there's a million ways to use music. It's so powerful.
Well, and Vanessa, I think you got a great thing. You also, people need to go check out your website, VanessaJoySings.com. VanessaJoySings.com.
Thank you, Matt.
You bet. And because when you get there, Vanessa, you have a blog.
Yes, I do.
And you have ideas, and you have music as well. But I think the bigger thing is there's hope. There's peace to this. This isn't just, you failed again, parents. Yep, you didn't get your kids into music. Once again,
No.
Losers.
No.
Because that's something that can take place today. Grandmas and grandpas can turn on the music when the kids are in the car. We can bring music. We can pay for lessons. I know people that can't afford the lessons, but their grandparents are paying.
Hey, music is not expensive.
No.
You can sing with the instrument that God gave you. That's free.
Yes.
There's nothing fancy about it. It does not have to take all day.
Right.
There's no elaborate plans that need to be made, okay? You just start singing, okay? The next time you are with your family, seriously, this is for women who are at home with their kids. Sing with your kids. Play with your kids. Use music to delight and enhance your day. Seriously, do it when they're happy. And then, when you're stuck in traffic and you run out of raisins and you have no more milk to feed the baby, and they're whining and crying and you can't get off the highway and you know that they're hungry, they're cranky, start singing that music that you've done in the moments that were joyful. And they will not necessarily change in a blink of an eye, but that will help to soothe you as a parent.
If anybody, you could take it.
Yes. So there's a lot of ways to use it. That is free right there. So, music lessons are wonderful, too. I obviously participated in that. But there are things available to you in the library. You can go to the library.
Library's free.
CDs of any kind and use that to sing with to your kids.
Well, and now there's apps that you could just listen to.
Exactly.
Playlists, and it's there. There's no more excuses. We just got to get doing it, don't we, Vanessa?
Exactly. Everyone needs to do it. And they need to do it today.
Today's the day. Get The Voice. That's your CD, too. They can go get your CD, right? The Voice?
They could. And they can sing along with it.
I can hardly wait. I'm going to do it. Vanessa Joy, so appreciate you. Your spirit's incredible, and we're going to have you back on. I want to.
I hope so.
We will for sure, because I will do the debut of our song.
Okay, for sure. This is going to happen.
Okay.
I can't wait to come see you. I'm going to come over there.
No, for sure.
For Education Week, I'll come down and say hi to you.
In fact, we'll actually be broadcasting live from Education Week.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so then
it's
that
pretty
sounds great.
It's pretty cool. But I wanted to leave you. I just want to put this in your head, and we'll go to break on this. Do you hear it, Vanessa?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's GarageBand right there. See the hand clapping?
Very nice.
I put hand clapping in it. There it is. That's hard to do. Vanessa Joy, thanks for being with us, Vanessa. Go check out Vanessa's website, VanessaJoySings.com. And next time you come back, we'll be putting together a masterpiece together. This is the Matt Townsend Show right here on Sirius XM 143 BYU Radio. Welcome back, everybody, to the Matt Townsend Show. Today we are talking about the power of music. We just had on a wonderful guest, Vanessa Joy, teaching us about the importance of music for our children, our families. Now we're going to switch it a little bit and go to a friend of BYU's. Marvin Goldstein he's just well known in the circles here in Utah. He began his musical training at age 9 and by 18 was awarded a musical scholarship. He went to Tel Aviv University School of Music in Tel Aviv on scholarship. He has formal training at the famed Mozarteum of Salzburg, Austria. I'm sure I just messed that up. Bachelor and master's degrees in music from Florida State in Tallahassee, Florida. And he has recorded over 40 compact discs, 40 CDs of music. So here comes a true, full-fledged professional musician, Marvin Goldstein. Marvin, welcome to the program.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing so well, and it's so great to hear you and meet you. You really, this is your day-to-day. You make a living in music, don't you?
Well, that could be debated, Matt.
Livings are hard to make in music, though, aren't they?
Music's kind of an anomaly to make a living at, but yes, my life started as many might in music by just asking my mom at 9 years old if I could take music lessons, and she said, well, give it a try. And
wow.
Here it is, like a few years later, and almost 50 CDs later, and doing all kinds of fun things with it, and I like that I'm able to talk to your audience about it a little bit.
Well, I love it too, because I mean, even 9-year-old, for the level you've reached, isn't 9 starting kind of late?
Well,
you're a late bloomer.
Interesting perspective. The idea, though, is if you really work hard at it, you could achieve most what anyone has achieved, even if you started at 20, if you apply yourself.
There you go.
So it really doesn't really make a difference between 3 and 15 or 12 or 18. It's just a level of commitment that makes it work.
Wow. I love it. And so when you sit here, in fact, you played with our last guest, Vanessa Joy. You two have actually collaborated, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We've done 1, 2, 3 projects together, and she's an amazing talent, and she has the ability to reach into people with her talent and her personality, and it's really amazing to be able to go in different parts of the world and perform with her, yes.
Isn't it amazing, too, because here you bring 2 entirely different skill sets, kind of the piano, the instrument side, and then just her abilities, her voice. It's got to be powerful to collaborate with such a professional, both of you, to be able to have 2 professionals putting something together where you're both stretching your abilities. Has got to be a whole different world.
Well, it's amazing. It's actually, if you don't even speak the same language, and you just speak music, like if she was Italian, doesn't speak English, and so forth, and vice versa.
Yeah. We
can actually then sit there on a song, though, and participate in a full conversation by listening to each other and performing. That's the a magic of music to communicate around the world.
Yeah, it really is. It's there's this, because it involves the spirit, and it involves kind of this intuition. It seems like it speaks to part of our brain that doesn't speak, but just feels.
It is. It's a language unto itself. It's been widely utilized since the beginning. It's been given to us as a way to communicate in a more effective way than an actual language.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been understood and studied so long that it's being applied now in medicine, in
for healing,
Alzheimer's research. It's being applied in peace resolution in different parts of the world to inject music into having an experience between people who maybe idealistically oppose each other, or their cultures are not necessarily mixing well together, but yet the introduction of music into their conversation or their event causes them to have and feel the same spirit at the same time, meaning they are communicating about in a level that's above the natural man level.
Oh, I love that. And it heals, and it's collaborative. Like, that's the joy of jazz, for example, is how it's so improvised. But there really is, and there has been research about jazz musicians and their ability to kind of anticipate what's coming next, and to always kind of set the tone so that someone else can pick up and go from there. And you know what I mean? Not just be a soloist, but when you're doing jazz, you can go be the soloist when you need to be the soloist, but also be willing to turn it over and collaborate when you need to. It's a great dynamic.
Yeah, lay back and listen and feel. And then what's really interesting, Matt, that I've discovered in my 62 years of life is that even a 3-year-old or 5 or 9-year-old that can play a song called "I Am a Child of God," or they can play "Love One Another," or they can play "Kumbaya," as she had mentioned in her interview. If they can just play a simple song, they can be as effective in communicating as somebody that can play an entire 35-minute symphony with an orchestra. It does not take the expertise of a lifetime musician to communicate well.
Which
child can give of his spirit through a little tiny song as you sit there and hear a sermon being preached through 3 or 4 notes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's the pure form of music, the healing form.
That's what it is.
Marvin, let's take a break, and we'll come back. I want to get into this more and let you just teach us some more. We're talking with Marvin Goldstein, just, world-renowned, quite frankly, musician and just all-around great guy. We've also been talking to Vanessa Joy, 2 great talents, and we feel honored to have them on the show. We'll be back exploring the power of music in our lives and our families and creating peace right here on the Matt Townsend Show on Sirius XM 143 BYU Radio.
KBYU-FM, HD2 Provo.
Isn't it time for a little good on your Twitter feed? Follow us at BYU Radio to stay connected with BYU Radio hosts to keep...
Welcome back, everybody, to the Matt Townsend Show. We're talking about the power of music, the healing power, but really just the power of music as a language to kind of feel something different, to be calm, to cross our cultures, and to heal. I mean, it really is amazing what a song can do. If you remember around 9/11, how much certain songs started to bring out the power of that moment and communicate something that words don't always communicate. We're also here today with Marvin Goldstein, who is musician extraordinaire, and he's got a huge resume. Started playing piano and training in music at the age of 9. By 18, he was awarded some incredible music scholarships, went to Tel Aviv University School of Music on scholarship, and has just been doing it ever since. He also has a master's degree in music as well from Florida State. So, Marvin, welcome back to the program.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Did you get through the break?
I did. I made it, but I was just dying to get back to you.
I can't blame you.
Now, as you sit here, Marvin, and your contribution to the world is, I mean, if you think about it, it's more than music. You've got a life. But talk about to me for a minute what it's like to be able to perform your music, knowing that it's this great gift that you've also got. It's your talent.
Well, what's really interesting, yes, it could go on for a long conversation, but the idea, the simplicity of it is that, for example, at 16 years old, I discovered how much I love music when I knew that all the girls like to stand around the piano.
Yeah, working
it. They liked it. So what about that does a guy not get? It's like, okay, I'll have a new song for you in about an hour.
Give me an hour, kids.
Come on back, and all the boyfriends are outside waiting, going, man, is that guy ever going to get done? Well, guess what? He never got done.
No. And the girls kept coming and coming. Now they just change ages, don't they? Or do the young ones still come around?
Yeah. Well, all I can tell you is like at events that I'm able to do, and Vanessa too, when we do events together or by ourselves, whatever, we notice that kids from, let's say, 8, 9, 10 years old, some of them come up.
Wow.
And not necessarily a church setting, but in any setting, and they'll come up with tears in their eyes going, I just didn't know, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I feel so good, and I just had to thank you for coming, thank you. And then it could be a 92-year-old, the next one that goes, I've never felt like this in my life.
Oh.
Thank you for coming. And then we have little to do with it except that we are somewhat selfish in that we understand what it does for people, so we do more of it because we get to be part of it.
And you can, and really, when you sit back, it's got to even amaze you. Like, you get in the spirit of this, of playing a piece, you probably get lost and carried away in it, and you've been edified just as much as anyone else, and you must sit back and just be amazed.
Well, you just wondered, now how can I do that? If you think too much, how is this done?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really sure. All I know is I've done it enough times that, and I'm still feeling good about it, and people are feeling this, and kind of interpret it, let it flow, let it go. Don't ever try to do any more than is coming to you. Don't try to really show off, because that's when you're going to make a mistake, or people aren't going to understand what you're doing.
It's almost like when you get too into the you lose the benefit of that. When you get too into your head, too into your ego and showing off, you kind of nullify the value.
It really is not how many notes you play, it's how you play the few that are communicating with someone. And when we go to the BYU Education Week, like you said, you were going to do some radio there.
Yeah.
I've been there 21 or 22 years.
Huh.
Vanessa started a few years ago there. And then we've noticed that in a matter of 4 days, there can be up to 14,000 people that come to see our class in the DeYoung Concert Hall in a class, and we're sitting up there just in amazement that we're able to do anything that would attract that many people to sit there very quietly, and just they're absorbing things from our experiences with music. I mean, I don't think my life personally has much to interest anyone, but what I'm able to produce from working so hard at what I do does amazing things.
Yeah. Is that your cell phone?
I just turned it off.
Marvin, what? Hey,
can you hold on about 10 minutes? I got to talk to this person.
Can you give me a minute? Hey, Marvin, tell me what you have as your tone for your cell phone when it goes off.
It's like a punk rock beat.
Yeah. Well, that totally seems like you.
Oh, yeah. It's
you
really
little punk rocker. You'd think you'd have some like classical music, but no. You start playing little punk when your phone goes off.
To be quite honest with you, I was for a very, very short, brief time the pianist in Three Dog Night.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Check you out.
Yeah, and then I've had some stuff. I'm working with different people, and I get to open for different people, this and that. And back in the 80s, I was able to visit with Liberace himself.
Oh, see now,
Wayne Newton.
Okay, tell me about that, because tell me some of your experiences. Where did it? Liberace. Come on.
Yeah.
He's the piano man, really. Billy Joel. Have you met Billy Joel yet?
I have not met him yet. And
he'd be fun
back
to...
in 1981, I was 31, and my mother called me and said, "What are you doing with your musical life?" I said, "I'm really trying. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out."
Get off my back, Mom.
Yeah, Mom, what can you do for me? And Mom said, "Well, I know some people." "Well, who do you know?" She said, "Well, one of my friends is June Taylor."
Okay.
Who's that? She said, "She's the dancer that puts all the girls that dance on the Jackie Gleason show."
Oh, my heavens.
And they have the ones that use the camera from above and all the legs in a circle going in the air.
Yeah.
Right? And
those were the
I
days.
Said, "You know her?" "Yeah, I know her. I'll call her up." So she calls her up and says, "Will you do my son a favor? You know some celebrities, don't you?" And then June Taylor said, "Yeah, I gave Wayne Newton his start in the business.
Oh, my heavens.
And I also know Liberace and his manager. So let me make a call to Las Vegas, and we'll get you an appointment to see these guys."
Oh, wow.
We went out. We meet these guys. I spent 25 minutes with Liberace himself in between his shows in his nightgown. And, I mean, like, with all his rings on and his hair done. And
just all make-upped up.
And, oh, my goodness. And then I met Wayne Newton for another 20 minutes between his shows, and I was asking these guys advice. What do you do in the music business? Like a lot of people are listening right now. They want to know what the heck do you do? Well, they said, "Don't ever be in our band because we're the star forever."
That's true, huh?
We are the star. So you need to do whatever you can do and play for as many people as you can play for, and you are good enough. Get it done. Go out and do it. You're going to find it. There's no formula. And so I went out and I do it. And then in later years, I do the Three Dog Night thing very briefly, like I said.
Yeah.
And then did a little opening for Keith Urban once. And then in a few weeks, I'm doing a little opening for Maroon 5.
Oh, wow.
And then
that's cool stuff.
It's cool stuff, and I don't interact with them, hardly at all, except I'm just able to be associated in the same event with these people.
Well, and what it also, I guess it affirms that you're legit. It affirms that Maroon 5's calling you and Three Dog Night. By the way, I was just thinking about Liberace. What you should have done with your mom is just go get a really bedazzled uniform on like Liberace used to wear, all jeweled up, and then start doing that, and then your mom would never ask you about your career again. She's like, "Mom, you're the one that introduced me to Liberace, so get off my back."
Did that, Mom. Anyway, it worked out. It was wonderful, and everything they told me was true. It's just go out and do as much as possible you can. Volunteer as much as you can, even until you're nauseated. Even in these years, just keep doing it. Somehow make it work, and then around that next door is somebody who, number one, will really help you. There's another one on door number 2 that'll actually pay you, and then door number 3, then maybe you really feel like you've made somebody happy with your music, and now you're not in competition with anyone. You're just doing your thing, and you're trying to work with young people to have the same opportunity because they've been given a gift that needs to be shared, and it's not for themselves; it's for others.
I love it. And that all of that advice works with any talent, really, but especially it works with our music.
Any passion whatsoever. Everything that Vanessa was telling you is absolutely amazingly innovative and true. It's almost like, that makes sense. Yeah, I never thought of it like that, but now that we know that this is all true, why don't we do more of it? Maybe now we will do more of it. Now, to take that to a real extreme here is like when I do concerts in the Middle East and I have 200 Arabs in a room sitting next to 200 Jews in a room listening to their favorite Arab and Jewish artists on the same stage at the same time.
Wow.
This is what the world is yearning for, and somehow music is the only way to get it done. Music is the only way to get it to actually come together. They're not going to get together and talk about Muslim and Jewish philosophy.
Right.
They're not going to talk about politics.
That's right.
They're not going to talk about their social customs. But on music, they're on the same page. They leave the room then feeling closer to the other one because they've had a good experience together, even for that 1 hour.
And it's universal. It's communicating. It's what I love is it's communicating peace without needing words or positions, or agendas. It's just peace.
Now, this is. I'll tell you this. If you got 1 second more, I'll tell you. Vanessa and I went with others, but we went to Cairo, Egypt. Now, my name is Goldstein. Okay.
You're like, you have a target on your back.
Right. My wife said, yes, why are you going there with a target? I said, no, I was going over. So the U.S. Embassy invites us. The Daniel Pearl story.
Oh, I love,
Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Who was beheaded by Pakistani crazy people, radicals. They did something so horrible to him, but then out of it comes the parents who said, my son Daniel was a great musician. Maybe we can do something with his life and music to make some statements around the world. Well, right now, the Daniel Pearl World Music Days is all over the world, every October especially, in various countries, performances for tolerance and peace. So we did one in Cairo, Egypt, where then I was interviewed by Al Jazeera TV.
Unbelievable.
And the Goldstein stood up and said, they said, what are you doing here? And I went, well, I'm here celebrating Daniel Pearl World Music Days for peace and tolerance in the world through music. And by the way, all of you that are interviewing me, that's a tragic story. And I'm sure all of you are just absolutely in agreement that was such a radical, crazy, inhumane thing that happened to that poor
innocent man. Yeah.
And they all looked over at me, and they all shook their head. Yes, we're horrified by it also. But yet, from that point forward, for 3 days, I had an armed guard.
You did have the target, didn't you?
And Vanessa was there, and she had no fear whatsoever of anything. And
her last name is Joy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, how can that go wrong?
You know what? A lot of the people there thought she was Shakira.
Yeah. Is that Shakira? Nope, that's Vanessa Joy.
They went, Shakira! Shakira!
I love it. Shakira and the Jewish boy, Goldstein.
When we get there this summer, we should come and visit. And
no, for sure. We'll do it. We will. We'll do a whole show with you guys. And we'll do it.
That'd be great. Or why don't you give permission to come into one of the classes that we do together and broadcast it?
Oh, that would be great. Oh, no, let's do that. No, for sure. This is going to be at Education Week. So if you're out there driving around, when is that? Is that in August?
I think it's the 17th or so of August for 4 days or so.
We'll be there. We will for sure. We'll find a way to come. We'll do it. And we did it last year.
About learning and family and whatever. And if they come, member of that church or not member of the church makes no difference.
No.
They come and have 1,000 classes to listen to about how to strengthen their lives and their families. In our class, of course, music is the most popular.
Well, of course it is. And it's because you and Vanessa are there. Right? No, Marvin, so appreciate you, really, and respect everything you do. And I love that you're magnifying a gift, a talent. So we will for sure get you in August on the show again. And anybody that wants to, where can they find your music? I mean, you have written music. They can play. They can listen to your music, play your music.
Best thing for them to do to get mine. First of all, I'm on some of Vanessa. So VanessaJoySings.com is good to find some of mine. But the rest of mine is if they go to Sounds of Zion, ZION. .com, they'll find my music.
Yeah. Good job.
SoundsofZion.com. Or they could go to that favorite place called, it's like the toy store, Jews Are Us.
Jews Are Us.
Sorry, Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know, it's so funny because here you are with your name, Goldstein, and Sounds of Zion, and yet you're just a talented man being willing to go to talk to Al Jazeera and hang out in Egypt after a terroristic act.
I'm not anxious to go now, Matt, but I'd rather come to Provo at the moment.
It's safer. It's much safer. Well, Marvin, appreciate you. Thanks again, and we'll get you on the show next in August. And take care of yourself. Again, folks, music, the power to heal even our cultures. Isn't that amazing? The ability to speak a different language, a language of peace, where words aren't always necessary. This is the Matt Townsend Show right here on Sirius XM 143 BYU Radio.